Hello and welcome to Learning Access 2013. My name is Mike Henry and this is the third video from Tutorial 1. And in this video we're going to take a look at creating simple queries, forms, and reports. We're going to take again a look at what it is, and then we're going to jump behind the scenes so we'll see what a data sheet versus some type of layout design or design view will look like. And then what we're going to do is take a look at how to create one of these things using a wizard. So let's take a look at three of these objects. The first object I want to take a look at is a query. So a query is basically a question of the database, a question of the data that we have in our tables. So when we look at a query here, we've already looked at this one once. We're opening up this query and we're seeing all the people who are in the 806 area code. So as we look down here, these are just 806s. We could take a look at a lot of different things. Maybe we want to look at the patients but by their name. So we take a look here and we can see here's all the patient names, and we've got those all alphabetized so we can see those by the ID. So each of these queries allows us to look at information from the database. Now this view that we're looking at is called the datasheet view. You can see down here on the status bar we are in the datasheet view. It's called the datasheet view because we're looking at the data. I'm going to give you a real quick glimpse behind the scenes by clicking here, and I'm going to show you the design view. So now we're looking at behind the scenes. This is the design view. This is basically a query by example. This is the example we're asking for, and we can see another query here, and we can also change that one to the design view. The same general setup. The big difference is here you can see show me like everything that's a 806 area code. So these are the different types of queries. Now I'm going to just close these two queries real quick, and I want you to see how we could use a wizard to create a basic query really quickly. So I come to create, and here under the query we do a query wizard, and then you can see we can create a very basic simple query by hitting OK. And then in here it asks us where we want to pull our information from. So in this case I'm going to pull it from my table. So I'm going to pull it from my table called patient, and maybe I just want to create a simple phone list. So I'm going to have the patient's ID, their last name, their first name, and their phone number. That's all I need, and I hit next and I hit finish, and now I have a query that shows me the patient's ID, last name, first name, and phone. So that was just a real quick look at a query. Right here we have forms. So here we've already opened up a form before. We saw that we could open up a patient form, and we're looking at patient information here. Just like here we have the patient's information in form view. You can see down here it says form view on the status bar. Now we also have the ability to look at it in a layout view. Now the layout view looks exactly the same, although you do get some editing tools here. This allows me to change, maybe in this case, the size of this particular field. I can pull that out a little further. So layout view allows me to do some editing. And then I have another view here called design view. And the design view lets me to do even more editing, but I don't get to see data at the same time. Okay. Now the one thing I do want you to notice with this, I can go up to create, and I can come right here to form wizard, and let's say I wanted to create a form that was going to let me look at being able to create a visit. For every time a patient came in, I want to create a new visit. So I'll just use this table. I'm going to send everything across, and I'm going to hit finish. So now you can see every time a patient comes in, I'll be able to fill out who the patient was, the date of the visit, and the reason and what was going on. So that's how we can create a form rather quickly using a form wizard. And we'll see the same basic thing with report. Basically, we've seen a report before. Let's do a different one. This will be invoices by item. Actually, I think we have done this one. So we'll look at another report here, maybe visits and invoices. So just the same basic kind of information in a different way. So again, we have a report view that we're looking at here. We can also look at it as a layout view. This allows me to edit, and then design view. You'll see that reports and forms are almost exactly alike as far as working with things. Few minor differences when it comes to some of the headers and printing stuff. As far as the wizard to create a report, you could simply come right up here to create. We can come here to the report wizard, and let's say I wanted a report of all the visits that have ever been done. So I would just send everything across. I'm going to hit finish, and now I have a report of every visit that's ever been done here at our clinic. So again, these are how to create a query, a form, or a report very quickly using the query, form, or report wizard. So in this video, we got a good review of queries, forms, and reports. We took a look at what they give us for information and how to use them. We also learned how to create our own using a simple wizard. We learned how to create a query, form, and report using the wizard. Now normally we're going to create these in a custom way with a lot of bells and whistles, but we're trying to learn the basics here. So today we just played with the wizard. Later on we'll play with the custom ways of doing these things.